Well, and we view this economics as a battle space. It's a place that we're fighting a war for the future of America and really for the world. And we've seen free markets expand prosperity around the world and lift people out of poverty, and yet they're under attack. And I appreciate the fact that you're fighting the good fight on the right side. Today we're talking about the war on wealth. And we hear in the Democratic debates and on the media all the time about the wealthy are doing this and the wealthy that and the top 1%, almost as if those are evil things, that you don't want to be wealthy anymore. But I took a look at some of the statistics. It takes about $478,000 of income per year for an American to be in the top 1%, or $81,000 in India, $105,000 in China, and in Canada, $190,000. I think it's a good thing for America that we make that much to reach the top 1%. What are your thoughts?
Well, of course, that's true. Wealth is a relative thing, first and foremost. Compared to what ought to be the first question when we say someone's wealthy. The other thing is that if you even make $40,000 in the U.S. today, you're in the top 1% worldwide. And you're certainly in the top 0.001% of people in human history in terms of the material convenience and sustenance around you. So, talking about wealth doesn't make a lot of sense if we just look at the zeros. We have to understand what kind of material conditions are around us. And as you alluded to, markets have made us wealthy, and yet the West seems to have forgotten what made us rich. The West seems to have lost its appetite for markets, and we see, frankly, democratic socialism as a rising force, not just in the U.S., but across the West, and that perplexes me and it also concerns me.
Well, it concerns me too. There was a political poll in February of 2019 that said 76% of registered voters want higher taxes on the rich. A Fox poll said that even 54% of Republicans want higher taxes on the rich, and they want to soak those earning $10 million or more. And in the Politico poll, they even said 61% want a wealth tax of 2 to 3% on those earning $50 million and up. That's frightening. It sounds like a storm the castle moment. Let's go rob from the rich people. Is that what you're hearing?
Well, it's not surprising to me. It actually mirrors the period around the creation of the income tax a little more than 100 years ago in this country in 1913. The 16th Amendment, which allowed for that income tax to be created, was actually fairly popular and passed overwhelmingly in the House and the Senate. And then the income tax itself was fairly popular under the Woodrow Wilson administration. People thought, correctly at the time, that it would apply only to very, very, very high earners and wealthy households. And that was actually true. It only applied to about 4% of all Americans. So if we extrapolate fast forward to today, and you say to Joe Sixpack, oh, what do you care? We're going to apply more taxes, a wealth tax, to households that have over $50 million or $500 million or $1 billion, whatever number Bernie or Elizabeth Warren comes up with. That sounds good, but the problem is that it'll trickle down. These taxes, the appetite for revenue in Washington is so ravenous that, now 100 years later, all of us, even average people, even low-wage people are affected by payroll taxes to take out Social Security and Medicare withholding. So we're all subject to the income tax, everybody, average Americans. And as a matter of fact, it hurts poor people more because the percentage of their income taken by taxes matters more to them than it does for a millionaire or a billionaire. So don't believe the hype when they tell you that this will only apply to the ultra wealthy. It won't. It'll soon enough apply to the rest of us.